Yeah.
Welcome to Drawing Hive.
All right.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. If you're here to draw, you're in the right place. I know that sign doesn't say Drawing Hive, it says Visual Arts Passage. And just as a reminder, Drawing Hive's brought to you by Visual Arts Passage. We are an educational program that help people develop careers in illustration and as gallery painters. Totally online, some of the best instructors in the world, and some of the best outcomes of any educational program out there. So if you're interested, check us out. We'll probably talk about it more later, but just a reminder, that's where all this stuff comes from. It's not free, Timmy. It's not all free. Hey, tonight we're going to be doing Wrestlemania. And I knew I could get Cassandra here because it's her favorite topic. So,
Yeah.
Animals schmanimals.
yeah. All right. So, oh man, sorry about the typo there. I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
John Cena. John, I apologize. It's been a hard day. Incredible photo though. Randy Savage. There's John Cena, spelled properly. And
I think the Ultimate Warrior is going to win tonight.
yeah, you think?
I
Yeah.
think- yeah.
Anyway, it's a fun topic. It's fun to be able to take something that's, comes straight from pop culture and actually apply our skills to it. And a lot of what we do in the illustration world. So enjoy yourself drawing. We are going to do 3 poses, 2 20 and 1 40-minute pose. I think we're set to draw. Timmy will tell you where to post later on tonight, and we're all set to go.
Yeah, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. Please draw along with us. We do check out all the art at the end of the night. So if you post your work to Instagram and in the caption, if you put hashtag DrawingHive242, hashtag DrawingHive and add Visual Arts Passage, we're going to show it on the show. Cassandra is going to be showing it on the show, which is very exciting.
Sorry in advance.
Cassandra has to stream it from her phone, which is never fun. So that's awesome. John, we got Ray coming on later tonight as well, right?
That's who's going to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ray.
I figure if you
Wrestling.
WrestleMania, you're going to get Ray Bonilla.
Yeah. So what's everybody been working on this week? John, you've got an educational thing, so you're not switching cams yet, right?
I'm not going to switch cams until, it's not a problem.
See where what you're
I'm
doing?
doing like an old school Illustration Academy drawing approach tonight.
Ooh, nice.
What is that approach, John?
I really try to find the silhouette shape. I started with this light pastel, which I set down and I can't find now. And I just kind of find the silhouette shape, put some material down. It's kind of the first run is kind of a guess. I'm not, I'm not trying to be super accurate or anything. Well, actually I am. It's not super accurate until I think about it for a little while. And it may not be accurate at all. But I'll just use 3 pastels. I'm drawing with new pastel.
Yeah.
My pastels on this mid-tone paper, and I'll block it in, much like Cassandra paints, but she's not painting tonight. So I'll block it in both light and dark and create this strong silhouette shape, and then I'll go back and do my rendering afterwards. You can watch it develop. Maybe.
Cassandra, are you back to the grabbies?
Yeah, I just really like playing with them.
What makes them fun?
they layer well like paint, but then all the colors figured out. So I don't
Mhm.
know. It makes it fun. I was mad at how I painted last week, so I went back and did a fresh piece, and I felt better. So I just like the color it gives me.
Cassandra, you'll laugh about this. What I'm thinking. I'm looking at my drawing and he almost doesn't look human. And I'm not saying it's my drawing problem. I'm just thinking it's such a different silhouette than most people.
Hmm.
There's some extremes here.
The expressions were hilarious in all of these.
Yeah. I know I love the Rock's face in that first pose.
Let me see if I can pull off these expressions.
You can. I know you can.
For anyone wondering, I opened up the chat to everyone. So if you toggle it to everyone instead of hosts and panelists, let us know where you're joining us from and what materials you're using.
Timmy, tell everybody where you are.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm in Colorado. Me and my brother came out here to kind of run around, have some fun. So it's been nice. This is my field trip episode of Drawing Hive.
How long are you there for?
We're gonna leave on Saturday, so it's nice. I'll
Hey.
see my buddy in Denver. It'll be good. It'll be nice. We're here like during it's not quite peak spring break, but it's close.
So does that make you feel old or young?
Um, I mean, spring break here, it's usually it's such a family place, so it's like everybody's bringing their families.
Mm.
It's
What
not like
what mountain you at?
we're at Winter Park right now. So yeah.
Such a great sentence I just put together. What mountain you at?
You speak good.
Nice. People are all over Brooklyn, Florida, Hawaii, Procure,
Ooh, awesome.
Hawaii. I'm definitely jealous of Hawaii. Um, so what have you been working on, Cassandra? Are you kind of coming down from like the seasonal rush of shows, or do you have a lot on the horizon?
Yeah, so I like am restarting, once I got through that solo, now I have a whole new series to work on and other group shows. So I'm doing a piece for a show called Prose at Nanny Go Gallery, and it's supposed to be a piece inspired by some sort of writing.
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, hold on a second. I have to cough. I think Ray gave me a cold over Zoom, because he got a cold and then I got a cold. Um, but yeah, so they were just the gallery owners were English literature majors, and so they just really loved the written word. So they wanted all the artists to just pick anything that they were interested in that involved writing. It could be books, poetry, songs, whatever.
Mm.
Um, and then do a piece inspired by it. And so I'm actually excited. Shocking. I picked Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. And so I'm working on a piece for that because I wanted to think about somebody who did something pretty wonderful with their writing, inspired kids, inspired
Yeah.
artists, saved land and animals.
How did they say land and
A
animals?
little
How did
bit.
Oh, so Beatrix Potter is a rock star, y'all. If you don't know, like I will tell you all about it. So she wrote Peter Rabbit and illustrated it. She grew up always learning how to properly draw animal anatomy and actually did scientific illustrations at the level of scientific illustrators so well now that in spite of the fact that she was overlooked in her era, which is more the Victorian era, now scientists actually study her drawings of what she was seeing at her time.
really?
Um,
Touche.
but l- um, with the money that she made from Peter Rabbit and all the other books, she started buying up farms that were failing out in the Lake District. because she felt sad. Like there were sick sheep. She became fascinated in sheep. She became fascinated just in the beauty of the land. She saw kind of the writing on the wall that people wanted to start to build up the area. So she, in the end, ended up purchasing 15 farms, 4,000 acres of land. And after she passed, she donated it to the National Trust that would be forever protected as parks. So the Lake District, as we know it now, is because of Beatrix Potter saving it and purchasing it and protecting it. Just
I had no
both.
idea that an individual could do that. That
Yeah, and not only that, she saved species of sheep that were about to become extinct because they were local to that area.
that's always fascinating. Like the individuals that, because it's Ted Turner that is often, I don't know how true it is, but the Ted Turner is always credited with like saving the American bison.
Ah.
You just like when these people take up this mission to protect an animal. That's so cool.
Hmm. Yeah, and she became like at the end of her life the president of the Sheep Society in her area, this specific species. And before her, no other female had been the president. Like it's just oh sorry, everyone's asking where the or someone's asking where the Lake District is. It's in England. It's in the northern area. It's beautiful. It's surrounded by mountains. So I visited her farm and stayed in the Lake District for a bit, and it is beautiful.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm doing a piece that is my ode to her.
Nice. I mean, that's definitely Mount Rushmore children's book illustrator, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Who else would you have on your list?
Um, Probably like Chris Van Allsburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, favorite? Last week
I
we talked about Dinotopia quite.
currently I'd go like Peter DeSev, Carter Goodrich,
Yeah.
Claire
Oh, yeah,
Wynn,
that's good.
Van Ellsburg, of course. Hey, Chris Payne, man,
Yes.
he's freaking genius.
So like so many people I put on that list is kind of overwhelming.
Yeah. Wow. So you
But yeah.
guys didn't grow up during an era when wrestling was like the most important thing in the world.
Oh, I did.
Did you really? What
Yeah, my brothers were like all about it.
what's funny is I wasn't allowed to watch it and like because it was like at its height before I was like 10. And it was so taboo, like it was like off limits. And so what's funny though is I'm very acquainted with it, but I never could get enough exposure to like know the characters and like know the stories, but
Hmm.
was obsessed with it like secretly. Like you only got to watch it if you're at someone's house.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Me,
other kids were sneaking scary movies and you were sneaking Wrestlemania.
yeah. Well, like you'd have to pretend like you knew what was happening because they all,
That sounds right.
yeah.
I didn't, it was not it was not the success that it was that it is today or was when you were a child.
A lot of local gym shows, John.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
wasn't well accepted in our household, let's put it that way. My biggest, my idols were, Muhammad Ali and uh, they, as he referred to them as wrestlers. And
Yeah. The showmanship of it is pretty amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a straight up soap opera.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. John, are you ready to head over to your
Yeah.
is it that time?
Having fun doing what I'm doing though. Um, I can wander over to the other part of this. Whenever you're ready, Timmy.
Let's do it.
All right. I was hoping somebody else was in the room, but
Oh,
Cassandra.
do you want to wait on Ray? We can wait for Ray.
Yeah,
There's
could we?
no- Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's wait on Ray a bit. Like he may be having trouble with the children putting his daughter to bed, but I'm not sure.
So we've got a segment we're going to cover over soon. It will be a featured artist of the night. Um, have you done any artists that you didn't really know yet, John, that you've kind of learned about?
I knew their work. I didn't know very much about them,
Yeah.
in many cases. But there was nobody I haven't like I wasn't familiar with what they did as artists. I have been surprised of what how much more people have done than I thought by
Mhm.
by doing it, which is always a surprise. Sometimes a couple of cases I've been kind of underwhelmed too.
Yeah. Cassandra, I think it's so fun that I mean, you start off with the full shape of the two bodies, and now you're kind of creating the separation. Is
Yeah.
it, is it, can it be challenging to create that separation of the two figures?
No, because I think why I like these markers is like I know I don't like this spot, so I'm just gonna try it a little bit, and then I can just
Yeah.
fill it back in. And I kind of treat them like I do paintbrushes, and I can just keep redefining what I think works and doesn't work. So I like that it lets me just move it around
Yeah. How quickly do they dry?
really fast.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, all of this was done recently. That's dry. This is still wet because I just worked into that. So yeah, it's just fun. Yeah, now it's mostly dry.
Do you guys enjoy drawing muscles, or are muscles like kind of a headache? Or is it fun?
Oh, it can be fun, it can be entertaining. You
Yeah.
know, um, depending on what you're drawing, like you're trying to, you're paying attention thing, if you're drawing, like a female form, um, something that's very, kind of stylized, sensitive or feminine, more delicate. You got to think that way. And,
Yeah.
thinking, drawing somebody like this, you could be pretty aggressive with your mark making. It will work, kind of fits the attitude of what we're doing. So you can kind of change for those things, mindset a little bit. Um, I know this totally looks like a complete mess right now, but it's intended, it always does until
Yeah.
and then it may never look good.
Hmm.
But it goes through, this is a block end stage and it goes through a lot of iterations, hopefully pretty quickly.
Well, that's the fun thing is with this style, nothing, it's okay if it's not perfect at first. It gives you room to adjust.
Mhm.
Yeah, you bring a lot of the information in at the end. I'm more concerned right now as I'm thinking about shape and silhouette. I'm really just trying to put enough material down in the places I know I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. What do you think is like the most common misstep that students take in drawing the figure?
They they try to polish and think about detail at the beginning.
Yeah.
They really don't get the shape of things
Mhm.
and the shape of things. That might be right.
Yeah, Ray actually got here just in time, everybody, for me to say this is the end of the first pose. We're done with our first 20. So we're moving on to the second 20. The second 20 is probably going to be a little bit longer, but move on. Please post your artwork. It's hashtag drawinghive242, hashtag drawinghive in that visual arts passage. Drop that in the caption on Instagram when you post it, and we're going to see it at the end of the night. All right, we got Ray Bonilla here. How's it going, Ray?
Good, man. Glad that first pose is done.
Hey, Ray.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Oh, we're just
Oh, I really dug into that first pose, Ray.
we're just doing our best. We're just doing our best to hold the wrestling conversation until you got here. Yeah.
Well,
This is
I
Talk about
nerd.
Beatrix Potter instead. I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
need to be here.
Yeah, this is nerd
oh
day. This is how we get Ray on the show. We have a wrestling night.
you know what's funny is like I don't know if I've ever seen a WrestleMania with any of these wrestlers. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I just used the word loosely WrestleMania because I was like, oh, we'll do wrestlers this week. Let's get like a hot topic one, like just muscles and cheesiness. And I didn't even know WrestleMania is like right on the horizon. And that, yeah, we didn't plan any of this. I don't know that any of these people
Wow.
Mania. No planning.
I thought you purposely brought it up because it's like in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, no, just
Yeah.
totally. I was just like muscles. Yeah.
I was
Muscle
What
like,
up.
Timmy's like
title
really into this.
muscles? Cassandra.
Yeah, yeah. No, but April, we got some guests planned for April. I'm really excited. I think we're gonna have
Please.
Francis Vallejo, Tony Rodriguez. It's the return of Kai and another surprise one. So it'll be fun. Should be a fun one. Um, so we might have to do some animal episodes to get us there.
Balance.
Yeah. John, do you wanna hop onto the
Yeah,
recreational segment? You
I can do
prepared?
it now. Ray's here. Ray,
All
I've
right.
been just holding out for you. I need your
Oh, I
help.
appreciate it.
Okay, give me a second here. Um, all right. Raymond, have you heard of this guy before? You know, I almost
Yes.
told you yesterday I was going to do that, and I was for sure that you would show up. Um, but you're all going to find out that Cassandra and Ray probably know more about this individual than I do, the details, and I read about him today. So, so here we go. NC Wyeth, um, Newell Convers Wyeth, known as NC Wyeth, born 1882, and amazingly, he produced about 3,000 paintings and illustrations. He only lived to be 62 years old. I'm past my limit. Um, known as an American painter, American illustrator. I think everybody would associate him with it as one of the great American illustrators. And he studied and with Howard Pyle. Howard Pyle's considered the father of American illustration. Um, he produced 112 books in his life, 25 of them the Scribner's Classics. And at the top of the list, and the first of the Scribner's series was Treasure Island. And we all know that that's really like an iconic piece of a grouping of illustrations that are just absolutely at the top. Um, he kind of came along at an interesting time. Ray, you can jump in anytime you want to talk about him, but and Cassandra, you too. Uh, but he was kind of at the time that he, as an illustrator, he was competing with the camera at the beginning of his illustration world of his career. And so the necessity to bring, to continue and to bring something that was different from what a camera can do. And I think that he did an amazing job with it. One of my favorite quotes are saying, uh, Wyeth was both painter and illustrator and understood the difference. He said in 1908, painting and illustration cannot be mixed. One cannot merge from one into the other. It was a pretty big, bold statement. Um, and I understand what he was suggesting.
So good.
You could hear the frustration in that statement.
Yes.
Absolutely. And he was frustrated. Kind of iconic, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm,
these are
baby.
so big too.
Everybody think about, what their ability, because, he often said that he wanted people to recognize his work quickly and be able to read it quickly. And think about the shape design, the value control, and the pure shapes in this picture and how legible they are. Not about, detail, but the things that people are doing, great character designers now, the thing that somebody like Wesley Burt does for Marvel, or Carlo Ortiz, Ian McKay, whoever it might be, in the design of their characters, this was an influence on them. I need to go pretty quickly. I have quite a few slides.
Because it's all good.
Yeah, and it's like, it's really hard to like organize this and separate it. I did find one site that had 67 high res images that I'm pulling from right here. And
Ooh.
I
That's
pulled
awesome.
again the power of the silhouette and the shape, especially for something printed in legibility. A dark thing against a light thing. He was a master at it. You can see Howard Pyle in that piece in a major way. Ray, you're very quiet. I'm surprised. You're not,
I know. I just don't want to talk over you. It's like and get yelled at.
no, please do. I'm yelling at you to talk over me.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is so, around this time people have to understand there was no TV, there was no the main source of entertainment was magazines, but the magazines themselves really, instead of being like filled with advertisements and really more commercial minded things, was slanted things, um, were filled with stories, a lot of short stories, and there was a need to illustrate them, and um, Wyeth came around along the time of like just as reproduction was going from wood engraving, black and white reproduction from wood engraving, which basically would mean that you would get an engraver that would do a copy of your painting as a wood engraving, and that's how it got produced or reproduced into an actual color process. Uh, and so it, it's kind of wild to think, I can't believe, like, for those, like for Treasure Island, it was so popular that he was paid like $3,000 per painting at that time.
Yeah,
So isn't that
Treasure
wild?
Islands was his down payment for
Close
his
up.
house.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say this is a close up. I'll show the other piece, but I love seeing this thing up close. Pardon me, Cassandra. I was talking right over the top of you.
No, that's fine. Just that Treasure Island was his down payment for his house that,
Yeah,
we all know.
absolutely. House and studio, yeah. I don't know if you remember, and maybe I didn't, when I did the talk with Bernie Fuchs, I think I showed a picture of his house and studio, that window, and I never, not until I went to the Brandywine Museum and visited the studio, took the tour, that I realized that Bernie had copied that window in his house.
Whoa.
Pretty close. It was scaled down a little bit. It was over his a three-car garage.
Bernie had to limit his vision, scale down his vision to
Yeah. But look at the the organization of values in these things. They do all the heavy lifting. The shape is just incredible. Yeah, no need to render that cloud.
Nope. You know, he was really trained to break things down into an interesting arrangement of simple shapes and values. So, you know, Howard Pyle was a really big believer in strong reads and um, dramatic use of lights. I mean, he was really into theater. I mean, the idea of merging theater into storytelling like this and this style of narrative painting, um, you know, which has its roots actually in French academic painting, just via Pyle's teachers.
Yep.
You know, all this stuff was kind of handed down, and the cool thing about him is like just the way he simplified everything down into like the idea of three values, and you'll see that uh, with NC Wyatt's pieces and a lot of in his colleagues, you know, a lot of his peers that studied along with him, their beautiful arrangement of just really simple value pattern that produces a really strong image that's really easy to read.
Yeah, and that's, and the connection to the academic painters paired and used as great narrative work. I mean, it created its own art form.
Yeah, and then that's what you know. Pyle when he first taught those, uh, what became the Brandywine School from when he came from the
Delaware. Yeah.
Drexel Institute. You know, he really believed that American illustration was the true American art form. So it's ironic that you know NC Wyeth said what he said about the difference between illustration and fine art, but you know Pyle really believed in it being no different, that it was an art form into it unto itself, which is why they painted large and they painted full color, uh, even though a lot of their paintings were going to be reproduced in limited or no color.
And I think a lot of painters during that time period, early 20th century, were so influenced. There was so much change and so much excitement that was coming from, the Impressionists and post-Impressionists, um, that it could disappoint anybody. It's like, I
Mhm.
want to go there. Sargent wanted to go there. Other people wanted to go there. Um, and not really reveling in what they were great at. It's like who would be disappointed with the career of NC Wyeth, except NC Wyeth.
Right.
Right. I just love seeing those paintings of like I'm sorry, the trees in his paintings, because a lot of
Mm.
them are like of just Chatsworth, like that area of rural Pennsylvania. You see those trees if we just drive down there. It's like, oh yeah, look at that.
Mhm.
I love the tree design in these
Yeah,
birches. How much interest that he got out of very similar things. How he really composed those.
you could totally tell this is much later.
Yeah,
This is when he switched over to tempera with, and it was oils over the tempera.
cheater.
Some call it old school, right?
Yep, absolutely. There's some
Yeah. So later on in his career, he started. You know, he was he was known throughout the country, and so he started hanging out with more art critics and people that were more invested in the arts. And you know, I think he was really frustrated with, yeah, basically an identity crisis. You know, like he wanted to be known as an artist, but um, you know, the artistic community never really accepted what he did as art. So he started doing his own personal work and trying to do, you know, landscapes. And I actually have never seen this landscape before, John.
Yeah, that's a
one.
cool one.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is killer. This
Yeah.
Wow.
was actually done for I think Post Saturday Evening Post, but I just love that landscape. Yeah, artist or mere illustrator? Um, there's a interview. I can't remember if it was done on Norman Rockwell or about NC Wyeth, but Gregory Peck was doing the narrative, this film that they made, and that's the opening line. Artist or mere illustrator? I love that mere illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Yeah.
that's how, that's what frustrated a lot of people because it wasn't accepted as an art form. And it truly
Which
was.
is which is crazy to think now because um, I think figurative painting today more resembles this stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, yeah,
Really great representational painting.
yeah, and nobody really cares about the divide anymore either, which is,
Yeah,
or at least it's not.
lines have been blurred.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one either. The one with the birds. John, man, these are some deep cuts, man. I appreciate this.
Only for you, Ray. Thank you.
Is that Black Arrow?
Think so. Don't ask me titles or what book it's connected to.
Look at that one.
Oh.
I would. I just wish it was a better silhouette.
Look at this whole group.
Mm.
That's Timmy right now.
Yeah.
Wearing that same hat.
That's right.
You guys talk more about the silhouette, specifically like in this image?
Well, first of all, look at how much attention that it gets. And then how much information is in that silhouette. You have gesture, motion, obviously the shape, it really describes the clothing. It's filled with really, really great information. And you it's so subtly done, but it's so powerful. And look at what you can do to silhouette, even like when it's in the snow and it's very subtle, but the hint of it's there. You don't have to polish and render it. It's just the shape that's doing the heavy lifting. These silhouettes just slay me.
Hmm.
That's a boy's King Arthur, maybe. I think. Wow, that is like it's almost like that Winslow Homer painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's awesome. I love the
Oh.
stories, Cassandra, of Wyeth wanting to do what, paintings about like the West and stuff, and him joining a posse and going on a manhunt, and it's like what?
He's like Roosevelt that way, like I heard these stories, so I'm just gonna go do it and see if it's real.
Yeah,
This is a great piece.
that's a
Hmm.
yeah,
Look at
amazing.
the dimension, the light catching the dimension to the paint. Okay, I put this in there at the end. When I went to Brandymine, I bought like 20 books. And I thought, okay, when I come back, over time, I'm gonna read them all, besides just look at the pictures. Uh, Anybody that can read James Fenimore Cooper, call me. Um, he did this like in the dialect of the time period. It was so hard to consume. My wife just kept looking. I go, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's wearing me out. Okay, and this is a great story behind it. Uh, Somebody bought this piece for $4 at a garage sale.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Sold, sold it. This, I don't know how many years ago it was. Sold it for $250,000.
It was very recent.
Really?
Yeah, I want to say like last year or the year before.
Pretty good deal.
Because I remember sending the article to Timmy.
Good return on your money.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. There's the studio.
Not enough natural light.
Yeah,
Right?
there's the interior.
Look
Love
at
the
that.
scaffolding there, the stairs.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pretty nice, huh?
You just go in there and be like, yeah, I would happily call this home.
Nice. That was great.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
I got to get back to my drawing here. It's a mess. Um, I'm laughing, Cassandra. You know, when I was watching me draw while I was going through clicking those slides and looking, I was like looking over your shoulder. The insanity, you know, that so look at that silhouette shape and look where Ray is, that silhouette shape. We
My blab.
all have this goofiness going on in our pages, but hopefully we'll be able to pull it out.
Yeah, that's the trick, right?
All right, Ray. I've been wondering all night, what's your wrestler Mount Rushmore?
You know, I thought you were gonna say like favorite WrestleMania moments, and I had like three.
Okay, well, I mean,
Top,
we could do that. I was just
but
wondering, yeah.
okay, so wrestling route Mount Rushmore. Um, I mean, I'm pretty old school
Or
in
who do
terms
you
of
think danced best together?
oh,
Who
um,
who is the best pair that that could jam together the best in the ring?
I would say like Ric Flair, Rowdy Piper.
Yeah,
Uh, those two are unbelievable. They were kind of like the wrestlers.
yeah,
Um, you know, you had, yeah, I would say that. I love like people like obviously like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, um, but I think like the workers like that, like anything with like Ric Flair, or Roddy Piper. I mean, like Piper versus Macho Man, Piper versus Flair versus um,
yeah.
Hulk Hogan. It doesn't matter, you know. Um, yeah, like it all depends. Like the acrobatic wrestlers to the lucha libres, and
Yeah.
um,
I was gonna say, I don't know that I'm trying to think. This is just off the top of my head, and I'm very tired, so maybe I'm wrong, but I'm trying to think of a sport that marries athleticism with art more intensely, other than maybe like ballet.
yeah,
Synchronized swimming.
It just doesn't look as dangerous.
synchronized swimming in a cage was pretty much like wrestling.
But like, I mean, like, I get that you can argue pretty much like basketball is like when it's played by certain athletes, like it is an art, and it's this like beautiful dance. But I just with wrestling, it's like they're having to come up with they're having to create these their own characters. Like when you talk about like an artist's voice, I can't think of an athlete that's like tasked more with like finding their own voice personally.
Yeah.
It's
Where
not
like
at the beginning because it's choreographed.
yeah, and
Well, some of it is choreographed.
Yeah, I get it.
Pre pre
I think these guys are
yeah
athletes. I
yeah
understand.
pre. Well, I love the idea of it being either like it ranges from it like Macho Man Randy Savage. He would choreograph every single move chronologically in his matches, and he would map all of it out before going uh, into the ring, which is insane.
but then like
And then you have
the character development that they're doing on top of this. Like you couldn't just
right.
show up just with the athleticism.
No, no,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then and
they're
yeah,
having a narrative.
Yeah, and like John Cena, I think is a great example because one of the biggest names to do it, and also had a lot of failed characters.
Yeah.
right.
So he had a lot of characters he tried out, like a lot of voices that he tried to, like exaggerations of himself that he tried to like, you know, amp up, and they didn't work, and like he had to keep exploring it, which I think is probably pretty relatable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen the under? Do you remember the Undertaker's first character?
No,
Yeah,
I don't.
I
It was
First
a
do.
WC.
character?
What was it, Cassandra?
Oh no, I remember.
Yeah. Bray, what was it? I don't remember any of this.
No, I don't even remember the first name. It was like WCW was like uh I don't even remember actually. Do you remember his name?
No, I just remember his outfit.
Yeah, or like even like was it Stone Cold Steve Austin was sensational Steve Austin or something like that.
Hmm.
With he had long hair.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to like a school gym, like amateur wrestling match? Doesn't have to be a school gym.
Uh
So it's like church basements and stuff.
You mean
no, I have yeah.
Oh man.
Uh
That's yeah, I went my brother when he lived in St. Louis, we would always go to this one. It was in the basement of a church and it was some serious wrestlers would be there and they would be like it was the Moondog. It was like there was a group of wrestlers. It was like a school of wrestling called the Moondogs. And and like so like there were like it was kind of like Wu-Tang. Like there was like 80 different members of the Moondogs and they all had a name that started with something and then it was just like Jeffrey Moondog. But
it's awesome.
I love it. If you're in St. Louis or if you ever find yourself out there, see if there's one going on. It's in the basement of a church. You can get popcorn or you can get beer, and there's no option. It's just beer, popcorn.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to think as wrestling as like an this a homogenous like international thing
Mhm.
because its roots were extremely regional. And you had like in what was that in Minnesota?
Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri's. Okay, so like St. Louis back in the day, St. Louis used to have its own circuit of wrestlers, and that was it. That's it. Just they just operated in St. Louis, in that area,
Yeah.
and and the same thing for like New York, and then same thing for like all these little regions, and they were all these little fiefdoms that
Uh-huh.
were run by people, and wrestlers would just go from region to region and wrestle their characters, and once their character kind of waned out, they would just go to another region and then wrestle as another character, which is it's kind of crazy to think that since everything is so like nationally televised and things like that.
Yeah. It is. The idea of it like existing on like a local plane is like hard to fathom. Like it was such a novelty to see. It's a blast. I mean, there's that my sister-in-law called ahead and she was like, it would mean so much to me if the lead Moondog told my husband happy birthday in the middle of his fight. They did it is the best. Yeah. Moondog dedicated his win to Tony for his birthday.
Oh my
That's
god.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a room full of like 80 people. I mean, like it's it's surprisingly easy to become part of the show.
Yeah. But I had a friend I went to school with who was a professional wrestler. Like he was a former professional wrestler, and he trained in those schools. And one thing he told me was that the culture it all has its roots in the carnival,
Hmm.
which I never even thought about. So
Yeah,
even
I
the
mean,
dialect is very
even
is all from carnival,
yeah, even when
carnival.
I think of the sports that like when you talk about blending like art with skill, there are a few sports that demand creativity, right? Like like you could be like you can be an all-star in most sports and just be a technician, right?
Right.
But yeah, it is funny how they work on their voices. They try being bad guys, they try being good people, and they try on like
Yeah,
all
and they're
these
doing it on the
to see
fly.
what fits. Yeah.
Yeah. And even it's funny. It's like that gets tried out, and and it used to be from region to region, and
Yeah.
and it would be they would work on their characters and whatnot. But you had also even just one of the WrestleManias, Rock versus Hulk Hogan. There's
Yeah.
a story that they were supposed to go in and have this very choreographed match, and they ended up throwing out their plan when they got in the ring.
Really?
Based off of the audience's reaction. Yeah, because they were starting to cheer for Hulk Hogan as much as The Rock. And so it was this, conversation they were having in the ring as they were going through the match. And they planned it out on the fly. And
The Rock,
which is crazy,
What was that, John?
Rock didn't like that, did he?
No, no. Well, I think he understood. I mean, like the story goes, he understood like that it needed to be like that, even though he didn't want to do it. But he came from his dad being a wrestler, and his whole family was, so he understood that.
He respected
You know,
the art.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, he
he's a
was like
legacy.
poured into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a
Well,
legacy, but his ego it's hard to fathom. You only have a contract in the Fast and Furious that he's not allowed to lose a fight ever in any scene.
Well, that's
And
what I was referring to, Timmy. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah. And then also I'm trying to remember the specifics of it. I was a big fan of the franchise, but it was him and Vin Diesel. They both contractually were like, we can never lose a fight. And then there was a fight between them and they both punch each other at the same time. And it was just this is just like, yeah, we're just tiptoeing on the egos of meatheads. But yeah, no, pretty funny. I love it. You got to respect the ego. You got to respect the ego at a certain point. Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. I think it's one of the great performance sports, the idea of
Yeah.
calling it entertainment sports. What was it called? Is it it was entertainment sport? Is that what was the category that they made up to describe it? I forgot what it. Regardless, it's unbelievable. I mean, the amount of physical conditioning you have to do just to be able to operate like that is kind of nuts.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and I know that they got injured all the time.
Yeah. Which, I was told that's the one of the primary reasons why steroids was used, was to so that they could heal faster.
Hmm.
Um,
the same with football.
Yeah. It was like football with instead of $2,500 a game, they got $25 a match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not in the beginning.
No, that
And
is true.
those wrestlers certainly don't get $25 a match now. Top end.
Nope. Nope. They have health care and all this stuff, and it's crazy. Retirement,
You would hope they have a little
401ks.
bit of healthcare.
Yeah.
Cassandra, that's looking awesome. By the way, I'm gonna do a little walk around there, and that
Thanks. I'm trying to find their expressions.
look like two hot dogs wrestling each other.
That's kind of what they are here.
It does. It just looks like a yeah.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Nice.
You're getting,
And like the arms are ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I know, I'm kind of identifying that right now with mine, and it's like, oh my God, they're, trying to nail down the shape, and it's like, this doesn't look believable.
no, exactly right. And I'm like, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't square off, but it does.
Also, I think John Cena has very short arms. Anybody
Mm,
else
His arms are pretty hard to
notice
understand.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He does
even
look
like in
like
the
he's in,
Peacemaker when you see it.
he
maker.
kind of looks like he's like permanently in crab mode.
Yeah.
Ray, I'm drawing and I'm looking at my reference and I look at yours and I'm looking at the armbands and, and I was like, I've done it on the wrong arm. I missed an armband when you have it flipped.
Oh.
I almost started drawing. Pretty funny.
I think at the end of every show, I end up forgetting what the original orientation was. like without fail. Yeah, I have to go and look it up. I have to look up all the other uh posts to see like, oh yeah, I got it backwards.
Can you explain why you flip it so much?
Yes, because my eye gets tired as I keep working on things, and mirroring the image is akin to like seeing it you're seeing it in reverse, so you're seeing it in a new way. So your mistakes tend to stand out a lot more easier as you keep doing that.
Exactly. I have a
Not that
mirror
it's
behind me in my
impossible to. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have a mirror behind me in my art studio, so I can always like hold my painting up and look at it behind me.
I gotta get one for my studio. I have the space for an actual mirror now. So
What's like the most recent game-changing thing you've gotten for your studio?
a fold-up table
Yeah.
Ooh,
from
good.
Walmart. Yeah, I have. I bought. I had one, and I bought two of them now, and I'm looking for a third. Oh, actually, you know what? Found a little cart that fits my palette with little
Nice.
wheels. That you could put
Is it
all my.
metal
I think it was.
or wood?
Say again.
Is it
Oh no,
metal?
it's metal. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all metal.
Is it gray?
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
I have between Timmy and I, we have about 60 of those. I
anybody wants any of them, reach out to me, please.
don't know
Take
if we
one.
still have parts, but we have a lot of folding tables and chairs.
I will ship
I should
you
be asking you.
give you a deal on an easel.
Oh man, we got some really nice easels.
Yeah. As long as
Nice.
you like heavy
Those
things.
Oppenstein, real heavy metal easels.
It'll chop your finger off if you pick them up the wrong way.
Oh, that sounds awesome to have around my kids.
Yeah, they're great for kids. That's like it's like the Dan Aykroyd Halloween episode where he's like, and this new costume is called Bag of Glass.
Yeah, bag of glass.
The
Yeah,
other thing,
no,
a whole bunch of drawing horses too.
yeah. Hey, hit me up if you've got like an art department of and you need like 180 or 100 easels and drawing horses. I'll loan them to you. I'll set up a loaning system. Do you guys have a favorite like setup like that for drawing painting? Easel, drawing horse,
Oh yeah.
figure? What's your favorite?
Oh, easel. But I like to have the easel and desk because I don't like to keep it in one place. I'll have it propped up and then I move it flat for some parts and then I move it back up. So I move a lot.
You did like a 2 hour drawing, figure drawing thing. Does your back start to hurt at all standing that long? Just like in
Oh,
a
I stand and sit down. I
yeah,
don't pick one or other the whole time.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
you switch back
I
and forth.
I must. Yeah, I mostly nowadays I've been mostly standing, but
Yeah.
um, I do have the option of sitting down for sure. But
Okay,
everything's done
like,
on an easel for me.
something this size, I almost always sit down. But larger paintings, you got to stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're moving on to the third and final. It's a long pose. Please post your work now to Instagram with hashtag DrawingHive242, hashtag DrawingHive and Visual Arts Passage. I'm dropping it in the chat too in case you need to find it. Post it now. Don't wait till the end. We're going to check it all out at the end of the night. Cassandra is going to be operating the phone. Very exciting.
Let's
Everybody
go.
get pumped. Yeah. And then I just want to remind everybody, John mentioned this at the top. Drawing Hive is sponsored by Visual Arts Passage. If you don't know what Visual Arts Passage is, or if this is your first time joining, this is the one free thing we do. We always like to do this. It's the open drawing, meet other artists. We have guests on. It's a fun time. What we do full time as the school is we offer immersive live online classes that are fully interactive. So it's not like this. And they're all focused on developing skill, technique, understanding, so like comprehension of both technique and skill, as well as professional development in illustration of fine art. So if you're looking at drawing pictures to tell a story, pretty much no matter how you cut it, we offer classes that really can prepare you to learn how to bring, I think, words to life and tell stories in a way that are impactful and effective with how you approach an image like we're working on tonight. These classes are currently enrolling. The spring semester starts April 19th. But that being said, each semester, so you get paired with a mentor in your class, and each semester it's totally focused on the kind of the mission of that class with your mentor, which can be it can be developing skill, it can be developing your voice, or it can be building your portfolio. But in addition to that, we have guest speakers, and we've got a killer lineup this semester. And one, first of all, Gerard Dubois is coming back, which is going to be killer. Justin Gerard, we got two Gerards, which is always exciting whenever you have more than one Gerard. Julie Beck, Nate Schweitzer, Sterling Hunley. Nate Schweitzer is extremely excited because Nate is coming back as a guest speaker, was a student of ours not too long ago. And this is now kind of I would give Nate the term heavy hitter.
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing great. And then last but not least, this one's really exciting, and it's probably the most important because it's soon. Ian McKeag. Ian McKeag is iconic. Um, some of the most important characters in sci-fi and fantasy have his fingerprint on them. He's been involved working with Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, James Cameron, like directly, not like a person of a person or an assistant to an assistant. He's like in the room with these people, providing his insight on visual storytelling. If you want to attend Ian's talk, it's you gotta sign up by April 5th. It's probably not going to be recorded. When an artist like Ian makes a request, you accommodate it. Visual development will be enrolling again this for the summer semester, so not the spring. But anyway, yeah. So if you do sign up now, you can get early bird right now. So it's code spring 200. Go check it out. We've got paths for illustration. We've got paths for fine art. So whether you want to work with art directors or you want to work with galleries, we try to accommodate everybody. And tonight's a fun night because we've got the whole gallery program here.
You have to send me the date when Ian's talking so I put it on my calendar. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, seriously.
It's April 5th. You gotta log on early. That way you can say hi. Be fun.
Yeah. Is it on April 5th?
Yeah, it's on April 5th.
Okay. And then we're good down.
I'm
Birthday yesterday or today? I can't. I saw it.
I know I set the deadline to sign up for it the same day, so I know there's gonna be I know I'm gonna have a busy morning. Yeah. A little too relaxed. Yeah, so no, we've got the fine arts program with us tonight. Ray, Cassandra, and John all teach for the fine arts program. It's pretty amazing. You get access to all of them.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
A lot.
Ray and I switch off. So I get to hang out with Ray on Thursdays and then we swap spots every other week in class.
Cassandra's the only reason why I show up on Thursdays is to catch up with you.
Oh, I always have so much fun talking to you, Ray.
Talk wrestling, favorite cage matches.
And so, yeah, just
Yeah,
would like to highlight, probably don't wait, because we are going to probably see a pretty big influx of signups. Advanced classes fill up the fastest. Yeah, do not sleep on it.
Mm-mm.
It's passage.com. Yeah,
Can I add something, Timmy,
yeah, please do.
about the fine art program and our faculty? And I think the thing that we do that nobody else does, we're really focusing on demystifying how that industry works. And you have to be, and my theory is, and the reason I wanted Cassandra and Ray to teach with me so badly is they've figured it, they've cracked the code, and they're using, we're showing industry practices of how to pursue gallery. And it's really working. We have Cassandra and I were talking the other night. We have 3 in 18 months we've had 3 students book one-man shows, one-person shows, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm
It's
so excited.
awesome.
They worked their butt off to get there.
I think one of the hardest things about finding success in the visual arts industry that I've seen is that it's not so much that it's not welcoming of talent and like talent and dedication. I think it's that there aren't many clear-cut paths, especially set up as like routes for mentorship. There aren't many like tracks for people. And like I think that that shows itself as like gatekeeping sometimes. Just
Hmm.
like keeping people out is like the lack of guidance is almost a gatekeeping of in itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's so hard,
it's almost a
most of the student.
quandary, right?
What was that, Ray?
Well, I was saying that, a lot of students come in with that same, need is to help for that demystification of it because they feel like they're flailing all over the place and they need just some sort of like a clear uh sort of track to
Mm,
it to help them find their own voice and also just make sense of where they fit in in the gallery world in our case, but the same thing for the illustration classes as well.
mhm.
Well, and there's this idea of what you think you should be doing versus what you should actually be doing are two
Right.
very different things. It takes, if you don't have people who know about it, it takes a while to kind of work through that.
Yeah, and a lot of like misconceptions of what what the industry is actually like and what
Hmm.
gallery painters actually do and what their responsibilities are too. um I mean, I know I had them before
Oh,
somebody,
yeah,
I
I did
was
too.
lucky enough, right? It's like, oh man.
I thought there was no way I could find a place in the gallery world.
Right. Yeah.
What was the most notable thing that you felt like flip that switch, I guess?
For me, it was understanding that how the gallery world works, and it's more so in a sense of like uh it's not it you know the galleries don't come first, you come first in terms of like your work has to come first, and then you use that work to find where in the gallery world you fit in, and it's not the other way around. Like I thought coming into it, I would just paint a painting, I would send it to a gallery, any gallery would do, and then they would sell it, and then I would just repeat the process. And then,
Mhm.
on the weekends, I'd sit in my hammock eating soft cheeses, right? Many varieties, but that's not really the case.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I thought galleries only wanted very specific kind of art, that there wasn't room for more.
Right.
I spent most of my time on the beach sipping champagne, Ray. So
Ah, yes.
That's how I always see you, John.
I'm sure you wrote it off as well.
for you, for sure that I tried.
Yeah, but I really enjoy working with the students because it's they all come from different uh point, different points in life, and in different levels, and it's really great to have them all in the class there, and they also get exposure to the three of us in terms of feedback as well and our perspectives on things, and I think we all have the same we're all saying the same thing, but we tend to say it slightly differently, and I think that's really advantageous to the students. At
Well,
least it is for me,
part of that is our work's different from each other.
right.
I just dropped a link to the fine arts program if anybody wants to check that out. In the chat, you can see all the courses that are offering, whether it's skill. So if you're like getting started, you can check that class out. Skill and style, finding your voice. That's kind of that next step. And then the final class in the program is really all about chasing career and opportunity. With that, I'm gonna head out tonight. Everybody keep drawing and Godspeed, Cassandra, on the Instagram load.
Thanks.
Cheering for you, and everybody enjoy the rest of drawing. Happy WrestleMania, Ray.
Enjoy
And
the rest of your time in Colorado.
all right,
You
Yeah,
and
man.
Tony, have a good time. Be safe.
later.
Oh my gosh, when I look at John, yours, and Ray's together, it just cracks me up. It's fantastic. I like that all our mouths for the characters are open, which is really hard.
Yeah. I should have found another piece of reference if it closed, just so I didn't have to draw it.
Ah.
I just love I love this reference because and I was a toss up between your reference, Cassandra, and this one, just because I love the muscles and sinew like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty common when Ray comes in, he looks right at what I'm doing and he thinks, oh, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And embarrassed.
I'm just gonna copy John.
Coming in here to put John to shame. That's all it's all.
No. No, it's more like, oh, John started with the silhouette. That's a great idea. We do that.
That's what happens when we look at all the work on Instagram. I'm always like, ah, that's how I should have handled that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's me for the every single second that we're watching the Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Just like usually a point in time where I'm like, what was I doing with all of my time? How are
Yeah.
these people firing out all these pieces?
Oh, Ray, last week I totally bombed. Like I could not get there with the piece.
She says that, but as I told her today, her bombing is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sure it was I'd take any your bombs any day.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Ray, what are you working on during the week? Do you have any shows coming up that you're getting ready for?
Now I am actually just trying to catch up on just gallery inventory. I'm in between, and I'm working on a illustration project as well. But right now, I'm staring at a 24 by 36 painting that I'm having a lot of fun painting. It's starting to come together, and it's a redesign of a piece that I did a study for like 2 years ago. So it's nice to finally see it coming to into view.
That's
What about
exciting.
yourself? How many shows at once you working on, Cassandra? Wait, let
Uh,
me in the dozens. Is it in the dozens? What's the over under?
okay, so by end of April, I have 2 group shows and a mini solo.
See that, John? And here I'm working on a tree and sweating about working on a single tree.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. It'll be amazing with beautiful light. And then I'll have
So I
painting
don't think
envy.
I can no mirroring the image will help this if it fails, you know. Now, honestly, I'm really having fun painting it because I worked a long time on my design.
Mm,
All of my preliminaries is, as you know, it's pretty much
everything.
most of the work.
Yeah.
You mean you took the time to get it right?
Yeah, I know, right? I just love being in the headspace where now my major concern is making the surface of my substrate interesting.
Good place to be.
Yeah. It's like, how does this paint flow? How does this look? What does the layering feel like this? I don't know, it's where I have the most fun painting when it could just be about me in the paint.
Something I didn't consider when I was starting, like the silhouette of this thing, was how much strength of darks that I needed into the figure because of describing all this form.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's really kind of activating his trapezius, and you could see those and these the pectoral muscles. Well, all of them. He's just like really tensed up.
It looks like he's going to explode.
Yeah. Right.
Settle down, John. Settle down.
This is what I feel like when I don't do a color comp or starting a painting.
Usually
That's
don't.
what I look like when I ding the edge of a painting.
Yeah, right. Oh no. Oh, or when a painting's not dry and it's you got to ship it out in a couple of
Yeah,
hours.
this expression right here, the one I'm trying to figure out, is that's the expression when it needs to be dry because it needs to be shipped.
Just gotta knock everything way back.
So yeah, so that's the reason why I'm working digital today, because my easel's occupied right now, and I didn't feel like taking down my painting.
I took mine down. I hate that feeling. It's so frustrating. It's like it's not done and I'm taking it off the easel. That's not a
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is hard.
Yeah, because I missed last week because I was sick, but that's what I felt like. That's what I had to do uh when Kai was on, was take down a painting, and I was like, no, I shouldn't do it. It's not done. Thinking like I could just put it back. And I'm like, no. What a head trip, right?
Hmm. By the way, I think my house heard your house say you had a cold, and then we all got a cold this week.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, I was immobilized for, I think, the whole week and up until maybe Friday afternoon. I was feeling okay.
Well, like,
So
I always watch the classes I'm not in so that I, know what y'all are talking about and that I don't mistalk or go over something that doesn't need to be go over. But your voice was so deep, I could tell you had a bad cold.
yeah. And John was like, "Yeah, man, you're fading pretty bad." Like we should probably end class. I didn't even realize it until I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is not good."
Way to make it through.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right? Yeah, happy to be back.
And John, you were sick the week before, right?
I think I was just really tired.
There was that one time you got like the flu or something, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's where I got it.
Like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's where I got it probably.
I
Yeah, I
hope.
blame Zoom. I think it
Yeah.
gave it's been passing something around.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel good that I did that for you, Ray. Got something done.
Dick.
Uh, yeah, but I did manage to catch up on the wonderful guest speakers we had this semester.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know where
I
you're
have
going.
one uh yeah, and of course, I saw uh David
David.
Dibbles, who was fantastic.
Oh, I haven't watched that one yet. I'm really excited too.
It's
Yeah,
a,
David, really great. And then Rainier was incredible.
Rockstar, right?
Oh
there's
man. So Cassandra, how do you know him?
We both show at Robert Lang Studios. So I get to show next to him sometimes.
Just
It's very
like I'm
amazing.
like, Cassandra's not from, from
Miami.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, right?
So I I was in the show called New Blood. I guess it was like 2 years now, where like I've been working with Robert Lang for so long that they had a show of just like artists that have been showing with them for a while that they were just saying, hey, like these are some of our artists that we're just highlighting. So it was really exciting. And I went there for the weekend, and this painting called Hidden Treasures was there. And it just blew me away. I just stood in front of it forever. And I went down and talked to Curry, who's one of the gallery directors, and I was like, that painting, Hidden Treasures. And so she started to tell me all about Rainier's work. And I just couldn't get enough of it. Just seeing it in person just blew me away. I like took video.
Yeah.
I sent some of it to John because I was like, dude, just check this out. I can't get enough of this. And so,
Wow.
yeah, and then he just knows because he's seen me in shows with him. So I've never actually met him in person, but because we're in the same gallery together, it's just kind of a fun connection. And gosh, I just am in awe of what he does.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
doing like a video talk with Bo Bartlett. I think it may have already happened. But
What?
Wow.
no, I really enjoy him. Just really, really nice person. He's so into what he's doing. He's so excited about being an artist, helping other people as art with their art. I mean, I just I just like the guy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so humble and likable, and he's just like, yeah, so I just came up with this idea, and it's just like the emotions that he's expressing is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, he's tapping into something that not many people can.
No.
It's pretty special.
And the leap he took, because he was like watercolor and like coffee and stuff, and then he just took this leap during the pandemic and brought in all the paint and all the texture, and wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched that like his when you go to his website, that video, I've watched that like 30 times now.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. And if people didn't know, it's um Rainier, capital Lanes, two L's, double L.
He's on
Rainier Yanis.
Instagram. Ugh,
That's how its last name is pronounced. And he's Cuban, and it's worth looking at.
so
I've been trading emails back and forth with him this week, and I just enjoy enjoy him.
yeah, he's unbelievably likable and so gifted.
Yeah. I was really hoping during the talk he would, give me a reason not to like him. And I was like, there's got to be something wrong with this guy. He's
The real deal.
not the,
Come
right?
on,
Yeah,
where's
he's
that?
a,
Where's that part of you that Ray shows? Come on, where is it?
yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I'm teasing.
Good. Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm so fortunate to have the both of you in, teaching with you because, we, it's that can be hard work too, right? Right? I mean, you got to really got to come with your A game. You can't just fake it. And working with good artists, it's great that when they turn out to be really nice people and are doing it for the right reasons.
Oh yeah,
I
you
think
guys
that,
are just a joy to be around.
oh, well, thanks, Cassandra. Likewise, for sure. I
Yeah.
would say mostly likewise, but we never get to teach together. It's very rare. So
Just drop Rainier's
I'm,
website in the chat just for people that were wondering. Yeah, no, right. Like I was always aware of your landscapes, and so getting to draw and paint in here has always been so fun. And to learn out like the level of geekdom that you are is a delight.
Well, I got it. Yeah, I have to keep up with the connoisseurs such as yourself. I gotta bring the A game, as John is saying, because I
Yeah,
can't
John
mess
already
around
brought the
anymore.
A game, and I feel like I'm catching. I'm trying to catch up.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say like, uh, if you taught alongside me, I don't know if you would, you know, say that it was an absolute joy as much because you'd probably be yelling at me to stop running around in my studio to grab a book, you know.
No, you
And
don't do that.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I get out of here sometime tonight.
Ray, please.
No,
John's like,
it's funny. You fit right in with my buddy George, George Pratt, who's an amazing painter, illustrator, really well known for his comics and his graphic novels. And he gets so excited. I always think of him as the John Belushi character that's like, sitting with the tuxedo on and listening to the classical music and describing it and how excited he gets and he eventually tears the room apart. Well, that's George Pratt talking about art. He gets so worked up and excited about it. It's infectious to be around it. And I just I think Ray brings a lot of that.
Hmm.
with maybe a third of the collection, maybe a tenth of what George has.
I wouldn't say that either.
I don't know. It's interesting. We were I forgot what other talk I was because I was trying to. I think I have two more to go. Vanessa Del Rey and Ravina Kai, who are absolutely amazing artists. And there was one discussion where you were talking about how a lot of art is consumed on the internet now, and so like, but back in the day, it was more common to have that a book collection is how how you collected that type of information. And I was like, yeah, well, people don't collect books anymore.
I
And I'm
still
thinking
am
to
a book
myself,
collector.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but it's like
But I
we already
I
have.
thought to myself, yeah, and I thought to myself like, oh my god, I absorb most of my art, on my phone, or on the from the internet. Um, Even though I am looking at a lot of my books. Nothing beats a good book though, in terms of especially like reproduction quality.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and then the variation of looking at art online. When I was pulling those images today, it was like, which one should I show? They're like different, they're almost completely different pieces of art.
Right. Yeah, it's so hard, especially from that era too, where
What
you're gonna get.
with me, Ray, when I'm looking for art, like really famous, well-known artists, is how many people have done like master copies of their work.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't think this was the person's best work. And I've been looking at it, and then I'm like, wait, that's not their work. Come on. It happens to me all the time, especially like the number of people that like mimic fetching or Holbein. Not as many with NC, but there was a lot. A lot of people
Yeah.
use Rockwell, to do master copies of studies of, and you have to. Some of them are really pretty good.
Yeah. I was talking about Linedecker the other day, to a class that I teach once a week, and then Most of them, I was like looking at them, I'm like, no, that's not a Linedecker piece. That, yeah, no, that's not it. No, there's one. There's an original. This
Yeah,
is all like copies.
that was my other choice for tonight.
Oh,
Next week?
you'll
Convention
see.
No,
or
Linedecker.
line decker.
Yeah, I mean, NC Wyeth is the reason why I wanted to become an illustrator. I mean, or at least he's the genesis of it for sure. Because I ran across uh, a behind a featurette in a DVD. I'm not aging myself at all. Behind a
Betamax.
featurette on a, yeah, I know, right? A Betamax on a laser disc. No,
The VCR.
VCR of it was on a DVD of Treasure Planet. Anybody ever seen that?
Oh gosh, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, kind of a cult uh, classic in terms of how people how it's remembered now. I mean, at the time, it was a huge flop for Disney, but they had a heck of a DVD with behind the scenes, and one of them was the visual inspiration. Talked about the visual inspiration for the book. I'm sorry, for the movie, and it was a little documentary on the Brandywine artists.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, what? Who are these people, and what are these paintings? It was like amazing.
Wait, nobody showed me this stuff before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was one of those. You know, when you were a student, you just like you came across an art, and it happens less. I mean, more rarely now, but it still does. But when you come as a student, I used to come across work like that would blow me away consistently. You know, like when I would first discover, you know, NC Wyeth or Dean Cornwell, and like Soroya and so on and so forth, where you look at this work and you're like, where was this the whole time? Like and how come nobody told me about this earlier? That sort of thing,
This
it's
would
just like,
this would have explained a lot.
right.
Right, probably the most the thing that was said to me the most after my father passed away was people sent me, I mean, just message after message. I don't know if there was 1,000, but there was certainly well over 500. And the thing that most people commonly said about him, and I love what you were saying about NC Wyeth, was they said that he made me want to be an artist more than uh, anybody that I ever met. And I thought, wow, what a great way to be remembered.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have loved that.
It's so true though, because when you see him working, he is so excited to dig in immediately, and it's that passion he felt for what he was working on um just got me excited to start to create.
Yeah, I think everyone at that level that I've met has had that same attitude towards work. It's like they're almost like they're almost giddy.
Hmm.
Uh like just listening to like when Thomas Blackshear did a talk here at VAP, him getting excited about how he nailed down the color in a piece, or he found the perfect reference. It's like he's done hundreds of pieces of artwork. Like, it was just like, yeah, but I really found this reference I really liked. Just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad that feeling never goes away.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it, right? It's like, I talk about uh, talent getting outrun by passion in our industry a lot. You see the people that are willing to, just love it and they just keep going after it. And there might be somebody that's maybe more gifted. I don't know. I don't know what talent is anyway as an artist. but I think it's interest and excitement. And
Mhm.
see, somebody that just hangs around and then all one day it's like, wow, where did that come from?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, the person, I mean, we've had him on here recently. The person that I can say that just like blows me away with that recently is Scott Anderson.
Mm.
Like, you're talking about just being dogged. I mean, he's always been good and he's worked at it really hard, but man, he just came into like his own world in the last couple of years. And it's so great to see somebody do that. And it's just his determination and drive to keep going.
Yeah. And another person who's just, you see him work, is just really excited about just working. And I mean, his level of taste too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I always liked
all
that
these.
you described Chris Payne as the guy that would be doing art in his parents' basement if no one bought it. Like there was nothing that would ever stop him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like you know, he was just hell bent on getting good at it.
I just love sitting in in drawing Hive when it was uh, with Chris, and like, we'd be everyone would be stopping and talking, and he would just be there like on his third piece, or like taking reference of the guest speakers and then doing drawings of them, and I'm just like, there's like there's no stopping him. It's not like it's not an act. I mean, he cannot
No,
stop
no.
making stuff.
Oh,
You
when
know,
we were live with him at the academy, it was so many nights. It's like, hey, Chris, we're going to dinner. He goes, no, I'm just going to sit here. Um, I'm just going to sit here and work this one out.
That's pretty dead on.
that's good. Wow.
I'm around him a lot. I got the accent, can do the whole thing. Yeah. Got that. I don't know if John Cena would like this.
I don't think he would like the crybaby face I gave him.
Yeah. You know,
No,
I
he
don't
would
think,
say,
yeah,
hey, Cassandra, see how I'm kicking the Rock's ass right there? Check it out.
Right.
yeah, yeah. The rocks people wouldn't approve the illustration though.
It's not
It wouldn't
approved
pass.
Dwayne Johnson image.
Yeah.
Yeah, not non approvement of reference.
Right. Yeah. I've had I can't say, the specifics, but I've worked on projects where, you had to get the approval of, like, of course, the art director, but also the person that you were trying to depict.
Oh,
And
that gotta be so hard.
oh my God. I mine's went nice and smooth, but I had other people that were working on the same project that I knew that just had, they had a different person, but it was like just a slog. It's just like, no, they don't like this. They don't like that. Can you change this? Can you change that? It's just like, oh my God, please.
They're just dying to finish it.
Yeah. You don't even see them.
Yep.
It's the size of the head of a nail.
A lot of having to get approval of celebrity portrait. There's a lot of that. I just was talking to Dale about that the other day. A lot of
Yeah, I was going to say.
the state's got to approve all the final say on the stamp stuff that he's doing. And it's
Oh, yeah, I bet.
a little bit like has been held up for years. He's got stamps that he's been working on for a couple of years because he can't get approval. And it's nothing that he's done. It's the it just hasn't been approved yet by the family.
We could blame Dale.
What?
We could blame Dale. It's probably his fault.
Probably.
No, we love Dale. He's not with us because he's on TV. being celebrated,
On
probably.
the Dale Stefanos celebrity tour right
I
now.
was gonna
Yeah.
say, like, he has been getting so much amazing, like, attention in the news and all the interviews. It's so cool.
He's wearing button-up shirts, Cassandra. I mean,
And
like, who is
ties
this
and
guy?
with the
And
aprons. I
ties.
know. So
Yeah.
fancy.
I didn't even know he wore glasses.
When you were saying that about Renier, I was thinking that about Dale. It's like, man, wouldn't you just like to hate that guy? But he's too
Yeah.
nice.
So nice. Yeah.
Just like does everything really well, super good looking, speaks really well, fun to be around.
Can
Just
do any race.
yeah,
Had a
good,
rock band.
perfect guy to hate. But
Hmm.
Yeah. I was like, the only thing is like he lives in Massachusetts, but I can't say that anymore since I live in the same state. So,
Ah.
you know.
yeah, well now you're both Patriots fans, so what the hell?
No,
Ah.
no. Let the record show I am not. That is not true. That will come back to me, John. It'll be all over Reddit. I've been looking forward to painting this deltoid the whole night, and I'm finally gonna do it.
You got his belly button well, both of you did.
Yeah, the stretched.
Yeah.
Yours is awesome though, Cassandra. Look
Like
at
holding on for dear life, belly button.
Yeah.
that.
I
It's just
love
like,
that, Cassandra.
what'd you say, John? You look like he's just about to explode or something,
Yeah,
or
it's holding on for dear life right now.
yeah. It's like, I think wrestling. I if it were like the national or the international sensation. I mean, it's always been popular, but like if it was at the level that it was, like, it is now, you know, during the time of 50s, 60s, I think you would see a lot more sports art um with
About
that.
it.
Can you imagine? Yeah, about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine like Robert Weaver doing a story on professional wrestling?
It's just yeah, I was just thinking that. Or like even like Bart Forbes, you
Yeah.
Mhm.
know.
Well, Bart's done, it's like, I bet he's done it. I bet he's done something on wrestling. It's like, I was going through his book the other day, and it's like he did every sport. He was doing fencing. He was
Right.
doing everything. And so much of that, well, I know he did wrestling because he did it for the Olympics, but it wasn't this type of wrestling.
Yeah. It was a sports entertainment,
Yeah.
which was the term I was trying to think of that they used. Yeah, that was amateur wrestling, John. That was a
Amateur
professional
hour.
amateur hour.
I have a friend that he was a state champion in high school, and then he went to University of Wisconsin and lost 2 matches while he was there. And
Wow.
I wouldn't say that to him.
I know. No, I didn't say it. It was Cassandra. I mean Dale that said that.
Way to pivot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be on your on your bad list, Cassandra.
It's funny, right? I've always considered myself like this, physically really fit and did all kinds of contact sports and stuff. And one day my friend and we're like the same size, he grabbed a hold of me, and this was 25 years ago. And I couldn't get away. I mean, he could just totally control
Yeah.
the thing that I did. It's like, and then he said, "That's wrestling."
Ugh.
Yeah. Like meeting an actual like a college wrestler,
Yeah.
just like the size of their necks, You're just like, what is this? Like, how do you hold a cup of coffee without it shattering in your hands?
Yeah. He was the closest thing I've ever seen to anybody having like Bo Jackson's body. He looked,
Wow.
because it wasn't like too built up with weights. It was just, but he
Right.
just he still does. just looks so unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give everybody like 5 minutes to get your stuff over on Instagram. Definitely tag Visual Arts Passage and use the hashtag DrawingHive242. And we're gonna head over and look at what we all did real soon.
Sweet.
My I work at it. My easel's at an angle, but so it's like the drawing is there's so much foreshortening in my drawing. Like his waist gets even smaller, so it's even
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
more
it is
exaggerated.
definitely at an angle.
I've been having that problem the last couple of weeks looking at my work that way.
He looks a lot more jacked in yours than mine's. Like he looks like he's really just gonna, like the skin cannot hold all of that power. That's awesome.
This is stupid. I'm trying to bring like a little lightness or a little rendering to a head, and it's almost impossible with this material. Or at this size anyway.
Here's a question: is there a Bart Forbes of wrestling?
Professional wrestling, I wouldn't think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Makes me want to walk across the room and pick up a book and I can tell you really quickly.
I'm feeling attacked here, John.
Or are you feeling
I,
seen?
yeah. I only did it like 7 times, okay? In one class. I know one specific example, Cassandra, was Sally was saying that, she was really looking at reading a book, that was about John's dad, and I was like, oh, I know exactly which book that is. And I'm like, Sally, you want it? And so I ran off to grab it. I'm like, I was giving her page numbers. Like, think about it more like page 97. And then 103 is where you want to go after that, that sort of thing. And
I need
then,
that memory where I could remember the page numbers in the book that I.
oh, no, I was just flipping through it. I was like, I went to
Oh,
go grab it and I opened it up. That's why it took forever, because I'm like unboxing. I'm still like, my studio's still a bunch of boxes.
I mean,
Uh,
how could it not be? You just moved.
oh, God. And so it's just like, nope, it's not there. Nope, it's not there. And then I hear, I have Bluetooth speakers, so all of a sudden I hear John saying, I think Ray got lost. I think we lost him. And kind of yell from across the studio, no, I'm still here.
Well, you have that filter that, like, if you walk a couple of feet
Oh
away,
yeah, it turns black.
you fade out. You just disappear.
Right, that's right. That is true. Yeah, yeah.
I
Oops.
think this is one of the more random drawings to have in my journal.
Yeah, did you have you ever thought about, like, you know, like we were talking like centuries later, somebody finding the journal,
Oh my gosh.
like a fan,
They're gonna be
but hopefully,
so confused.
yeah, not understanding the, like, who was this person? Maybe it was a model
Yeah,
that
and
the
then there's
artist
just
knew.
like stuff stuff like this all through it. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna know what to do with. I mean, this was probably the one that most makes sense. Like, really? Yeah, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
Well, look at the wall behind me. you know,
Right, right.
yeah, well, I actually sew landscapes to make my living.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
People might say like you were secretly working on this secret body of work,
Yeah.
never to show the world.
This was my
But
secret work here.
yeah,
I'd
I
like,
really hope I get to confuse people.
yeah, in my case, it's going to be like, no one's going to really, it's not going to matter much, doesn't matter, but it's certainly going to throw. I told my children that I would get rid of all the stuff that I would edit it before they were left with it.
that's good.
Oh, Sally found a couple of art forms doing Taekwondo,
Yep.
which are
I love
beautiful.
those. I love those paintings.
Yeah, I do too.
Making me want to run and grab the book and start yelling out pages.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can get us over. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready to stop drawing.
Yeah, this is your show, Cassandra. So
All you, Cassandra.
yeah, yeah.
I
Second.
have, I have to do this. I don't know if I can.
Wait, sorry, lost the hashtag. There it is. Awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Love it.
We're starting off super strong here.
Yeah.
And it's not Timmy, so it's my pace. Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, Marcy, that's so good.
That is awesome.
I feel like the hands in motion for like stop.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Beautiful. Gosh, these are all so good.
Look at that.
Beautiful. Look, you even got the lights in the background, Peter. That was my goal to get to it, but I didn't get to it. Beautiful, Robert. He's glowing, literally glowing. Oh, that's so good, AJ.
Come on, AJ. Just
Beautiful.
taking that off. Just taking that off.
Excuse me, sorry. Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I love the chasm that is his mouth. Amazing. Oh, these are
Wow.
so dang good, Gary.
That's great. That's what I meant to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll trade pieces with Gary. That's great, Jeff.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
The sandwich.
John, I'll trade with AJ. You could trade with Gary. And then we'll flip flop next week.
Okay.
Juan, that is so fun.
That's fun.
That's
Juan,
awesome, Juan.
great job, Juan.
So
Yeah,
great,
that's
Juan.
great.
Man, those drawing classes have been paying off.
They
Yeah, they
certainly
have.
have.
That's great, Nicole.
Nicole.
Jeez, that's great.
Yes. Oh,
I
this
should
is
have done
fun.
that. Whoa.
Wow. That's good. You did good. Wow.
Goodness, that's awesome.
Delightful. Like the sinew of the leg there is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. Whoa.
Wow. That is like a poster from the 80s.
Yeah, totally. This is the point of the night we've arrived at where I'm like, what did I do with my time?
Yes. 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 I believe I've arrived there too. Oh, Sally, I
Nice.
love the way you did the
With the,
snake.
the
That's fun.
snake.
Beautiful. Ah, yes.
Nice job.
So good.
That's great.
Lovely. Oh,
Oh, whoa,
you went Red
man.
Hulk on Cena. I love it.
Awesome. Oh, man. It's so good.
So good. Great belly
Nice.
button.
That's Peter, isn't it? Yeah, nice
Yep.
Peter.
Yep.
Guess who?
Oh, my God.
Look at how he handled the crowd. Look at the crowd in that. Dang it, that's good. These are
Wow.
so
Nice.
fun. Oh, I love that.
Nice.
Julie,
Oh, man, Julian.
wonderful.
What a home
Absolutely
run.
wonderful. You even got like the tiger stripe print.
You got it all. Yeah. Oh, man. That's beautiful.
Fantastic, Jeff.
Wrestlemania, the comic. I love it.
Ah, so fun.
Love it.
Really great job.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautifully done. That has like some Ralph Steadman color with the
Yeah,
splatters and stuff.
totally.
That's
Oh, man. See, then it just whole shows how it's done. That is
that's so great.
awesome. You didn't
So,
miss lat day. Don't skip
Wonderful.
lat day, kids. Oh, that's great, Aaron.
Oh, these are so good. Y'all, 10
Oh,
back
that's
tonight.
awesome, AJ.
Doesn't it make you want to
That's
Slim
a
Jim?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yay, Bluey's back.
Oh,
Great job, Efren.
nice job, Ephraim. Love it.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
very nice.
God, RuPaul's Drag Race. That's funny.
Oh,
Oh,
this
that's a
is
great one too.
fun.
Oh, I love it.
These all belong together on the same page, Nicole. Good job. Yes.
Nice. Nice, Sherry. Look at the thumbnail too.
I
Jeez.
know they're doing the steps. That's a cool
Awesome.
night drawing. That's so good.
Cassandra, I'm voting you do this every week.
Every week.
Your,
Yeah.
your narration is great.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want it, you've got it.
So how do you really feel about that, Cassandra?
Yeah.
Well, I get so excited about what everybody's done. Like this is the coolest part. Yay, Bluey's back. Great job, Virgie.
Oh, that's great.
Ah, I love the Blueys. I love that they include the Blueys with these.
I love it. Love it.
There's the belly button.
Nice job, Danny.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
Nice job.
Great job.
I'm
I
starting to
love that your
recognize
whole house is drawing
Ephraim's yeah, I'm starting to recognize Ephraim's Bluey and
versus
then Virgie's
Virgie's.
Bluey. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is where we're ending. What a great night.
Awesome.
Cassandra, thank you for doing that, taking us through that. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Remember Visual Arts Passage. If you have any interest, check it out. Cassandra, Ray, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. Really fun night, everybody. And we'll be back next week.
Y'all have a wonderful week.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Night.
Thank you, John. Bye-bye.
Bye.